Mindfulness is a practice of being present in this millisecond. Like, so now you and I are in conversation, I'm fully mindful in this moment. So there's no time for mind chatter. The goal for mindfulness is be fully present here and now, to basically be engaged here. Whatever you're doing, bring yourself back, and the mind will go, and then you come back, and it's a reminder. And that can take a long time to do, or it can be very instantaneous. The common ones that people are aware of and use are Waheguru, Hari Om, I Am, Allahu, and there's many, many more. We don't really dictate the mantra somebody uses because it does need to be dear to their heart. So to fall into faith and unconditional love and divinity, we need to cross that. We need to get into the 500 and 550. And love and unconditional love doesn't vibrate from the mind, from the brain.
Right.
We drop into the heart. Meditation is a solitude practice. You want to have the time out from everything. And it's also almost like I say you're breaking a pattern of the day. You're breaking the pattern of the do cycle, or, being in action mode and really going inwards. Our way is the lover's way to God, and connecting through the heart to our higher selves. Anything new we're going to learn, so even if we go register for a new course, we have to have discipline to do our homework, to do the readings, to show up to class. It's not just show up to class and you're done. Then you have to do the readings, you have to do homework, you have to really know that for the exam. Same with meditation, except for there's no exam. I think initially, if you can just learn to sit with the eyes closed, it's great. A lot of people can't even do that. Closing the eyes is scary. And so if you've got to that stage, it's actually a great step forward. Look at your mind as an employee, not a commander. If we make the mind the commander, it takes the lead and we're following it. Where then is your higher self? The higher self is you, and we have a mind as a tool. Every distraction from within, it's just something that's rising up, let it be. Just don't attach to it. And from without, that's life. That's part of life. There's going to be some noise, there's going to be some disruptions, there's going to be something going on.
Hello, and welcome to our podcast, Spirituality Made Simple. Today, we're going to talk about meditation and mindfulness, what they are, how they help us on our spiritual journey, and so on. Welcome, Sukhy ji. I'm going to ask you to begin with defining for us clearly what exactly is meditation, because again, there's so many different kinds. One has been hearing, so many different teachers are teaching different techniques, different methods, and so many different names out there. So what do you mean by meditation? That's the first part of the question. And what is mindfulness? And how they're similar and how they're different. This is going to take a while, I'm sure, to answer.
Kiranji, mindfulness, let's begin with mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice of being present in this millisecond in, like, so now you and I are in conversation, I'm fully mindful in this moment. So there's no time for mind chatter. The goal for mindfulness is be fully present here and now, to basically be engaged here. A lot of times what we're doing as human beings is we're doing something in autopilot, but the mind is in the past or anxious about the future, memories of the past or anxiety about the future. So it's a tool to bring us right here, right now, to eliminate stress and therefore maybe even be more productive as a result. Mm-hmm. That is what mindfulness is, and it's become very popular now in the mainstream and in this modern day. Meditation is thousands of years old and mainly practiced in the eastern side first, like yogis and the spiritual masters use this as a technique. It's to connect to God. To connect to God consciousness, to be God realized, to be self-actualized. And so that's the mystical side of ourselves that we tap into with meditation. So in a nutshell, mindfulness is being present here and now. The meditation is being fully God realized and self-actualized.
Wow. So then, thank you for pointing out the difference. So then, let's just explore meditation for a little bit more detail. So, what techniques or how do you teach people to practice meditation? How do we begin for a beginner?
Yeah.
The process, and how do we learn it? How do we practice it? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for meditation, every teacher that teaches meditation has their own way, and it's something that they have connected to and they have an experience with, and it's dear to their heart, I would assume. Our way is the lover's way to God, and connecting through the heart to our higher selves, to God consciousness, and be self-actualized and God realized, as I've said before. We are very much mind-driven people now. We're very connected to the heart and come away from, connected to the mind and come away from our heart. And so that leaves us disconnected, I would say, more often than not, to our real self. We and our model and what I teach is coming back to the heart, that divine truth that is inside each and every one of us, and seeing God in ourselves, and the result is seeing God in ourselves and seeing God everywhere around. The way we do it is there's many steps to it, there's many techniques, but one is just connecting with the heartbeat. Connecting with the heartbeat, so sitting quietly, and the pulse is a great catalyst to the heartbeat. So if we have any kind of mantra is basically mind training. It's a higher frequency word that can take us out of our mind and rational thinking to a devotional place. So commonly, the common ones that people are aware of and use are Waheguru, Hari Om, I am, Allahu, and there's many, many more. We don't really dictate the mantra somebody uses because it does need to be dear to their heart. So I will say, what is close to you? Like what really brings that feeling of devotion in you? And we use that mantra and we connect it to the heart. So we bring it into the heartbeat, and now that frequency is higher than the mind. When that starts resonating through the heart and the bloodstream and our being, we've instantly taken ourselves higher than the mind. The mind vibrates at 450 frequency. If we take 0, Dr. David Hawkins is a great scale, which I borrow quite often, and 0 is complete negativity, 1000 is Christ consciousness. The brain's capacity is to vibrate at 450 on that scale. So there's still 550 missing. Where is that? So to fall into faith and unconditional love and divinity, we need to cross that. We need to get into the 500 and 550. And love and unconditional love doesn't vibrate from the mind, from the brain. Right. We drop into the heart. And so when we come into that heart, we're instantly vibrating higher, and we can connect to our true self.
Wow. So this heart-centered meditation, I mean, this is what you're leading in your teaching. So do you see, or are people seeing results, or how long does it take to learn and practice and get good at it? Because for people like myself who are struggling, we feel like, are we doing it right? We don't seem to be making progress. So to people that have like stuck in a certain point or self-doubt, what would you say to them?
Look at where self-doubt comes from also. It's the mind and the ego. So when we start practicing mindfulness or meditation, but we'll go to meditation, is the ego does come up because the ego's always taken charge. And now we're asking it to take a side step, just step aside for a second and let me connect to something that's, more authentic in me. And the ego doesn't like it. So initially, more often than not, we've noticed that it comes up stronger. So anything that you've not thought about for years may come up in your mind when you're trying to meditate. Initially. It's the first stage, and it's okay. don't judge yourself, don't give up. But that first stage will happen. Not only does that obstacle show up in our own mind, it also shows up in challenges from family and friends that have seen you a certain way, and now it's a struggle for them to see you changing.
In a new light.
Yeah, because inevitably then the relationship will change. So that struggle does come up, and I think everybody goes through that. Don't give up. Keep going. Because when you get to the next stage, then it's easier.
Wow. So the key is not to give up.
Consistency.
Consistency and persistence, or
Yeah.
something like that. Faith. That's where faith comes in, I guess.
Faith will come in. First, I would say, discipline. Anything new we're going to learn. So even if we go register for a new course, we have to have discipline to do our homework, to do the readings, to show up to class. It's not just show up to class and you're done. Then you have to do the readings, you have to do homework, you have to, really know that for the exam. Same with meditation, except for there's no exam. It's a process of transformation.
Right.
So just knowing that this is a process, and just like we need to eat, just like we bathe, just like we read for more information, our soul needs that food too, like we talked about in the last podcast. So the soul's food is meditation. Don't be too rough on ourselves, be patient and be consistent.
That's great, actually. That's very helpful. So how helpful or how essential would you say that mindfulness and meditation are on our spiritual journey?
I think they're very essential. In my experience, because if we're still coming from the mind, we're not dropping into the heart, life can be very challenging. We're completely questioning, or we're in judgment, or we're dissecting from the mind. There's no isness. It is what it is. We drop into the heart, we get into that acceptance, humility, compassion, and grace. It's not natural for most of us. We have to practice doing that. And meditation and mindfulness is a great way to do that. So daily, let's practice mindfulness wherever we are. Anyway, isn't it better to be 100% present than 10%? Like, it's just better to be present in what we're doing.
But not always easy. Like, I'm one of those people,
Yeah.
like, even at any given time, a lot of times I find my mind has wandered off somewhere else, and then I need to consciously
Bring it back. And that's how it is. Initially, that's how it is. And that's okay. There's no end goal. There is just a process. Life is a destination. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. We've made life a journey. Let's say that the opposite way. We've made life a destination and forgotten that it's a whole set of journey and experiences, right? So we come back to, this is a new experience for us. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be mindful in every moment. That will make our day better. Now we want to go deeper into our true essence. The meditation will help us get there. Who am I when I'm not thinking? Who am I when I'm not doing? Who am I when the body is not in action? Who is hearing these questions? Who am I when I am just who I am? And that essence, our higher self, will wake up. It will wake up.
Wow. So a lot of people think that meditation is just sitting with your eyes closed, right? And just sitting. When you're sitting with your eyes closed, your mind can still wander. So how would you guide people like that? Like, what exactly should they be trying to do and trying not to do when they're sitting with the eyes closed?
I think initially, if you can just learn to sit with the eyes closed, it's great. A lot of people can't even do that. Closing the eyes is scary. And so if you've got to that stage, it's actually a great step forward. Once you get to closing your eyes, the method that we use, we have a concentration point, and we bring them to that concentration point along with a mantra. So combined with a mantra, we have a focal point. And we combine those two and then have them immerse themselves into that. They can't help but shift.
So what? So would you like to share with us this focus?
Yeah, I think it's easier to come to the, because once we get into, now if we begin to talk about it, it's information. Doing it properly and effectively, you do need the guidance initially to go into that deeper process. So there I would say that if somebody is interested, then join the Zoom classes, they're free of charge. Join our camps, and we definitely can take people through that process. But once they go through that process, they melt into themselves. And so the mind doesn't have that much pull anymore. So now the eyes were closed. The mind may be still going, back and forth initially. Now we've got to the heart-centeredness. We've combined with a focal point and a mantra. Things will shift. Maybe not immediately, but over time things will shift.
So what I'm hearing is it's better to come and join the group session with the guidance, as opposed to a DIY, like do it yourself at home on your own. It's going to be more effective to do it.
It's absolutely more effective, because when you have that guidance, there's also energy that, you're in a higher vibration energy. And when you have a teacher that's been there and is vibrating at that unconditional love or love, they can help assist the journey be quicker.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, when the word you used is DIY, when they start doing that, and then they get frustrated because the mind comes in, and then they stop.
Yes.
So I don't encourage. Mindfulness is great. Do that. The DIY way, as you said. Mindfulness is great. Closing your eyes and sitting is great too. But going deeper into the meditation, definitely have a teacher.
Wow.
Or a guru.
Actually, that does make sense to my logical mind.
Yeah.
Because one tends to still, even receiving all this information which is about spirituality, one is supposed to, but I still think people like me, like it's still, my mind filters everything. So I still receive it through the
mind.
Filter of the mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but the
mind has its purpose.
But it's almost like an obstacle in meditating, or whenever I try to sit down and do that. So how would you say, if I'm sitting down and my mind keeps coming in, then how can I quieten it more? Like, of course, practice mindfulness during the day.
The mindfulness practice will help a lot.
Okay.
Because you're bringing yourself back to now. And I think, Kiranji, a great way for me has been that I talk to the mind. I tell it to rest. There's no need to work too hard right now. Look at your mind as an employee, not a commander. If we make the mind the commander, it takes the lead and we're following it. Where then is your higher self? The higher self is you. And we have a mind as a tool. So talk to the mind, and you'll see a big change in the way the relationship with the mind works. Then you say, take a break. No need to work right now. No need to work too hard now. No need to prove yourself right now. Just talk to it like that, and then eventually the mind won't be so worried either that I'm not important, or you need me, or I'm going to save you. Those are the kind of places the mind comes from. It doesn't need to do that anymore if it knows you can take care of yourself.
Wow, I must try that next time.
Yeah.
So, and how would you say, what's the best way to incorporate mindfulness into our daily lives and meditation practice as well? Like, what's the best way, where to begin? And what's the best way to sort of make sure we don't fall off the bandwagon?
Yeah. So mindfulness, definitely, like right now, right this second, be here, be present. Whatever you're doing, bring yourself back, and the mind will go, and then you come back, and it's a reminder. And that can take a long time to do, or it can be very instantaneous. Come into that second. I think once you become proficient and efficient at it, you'll be in the moment more often. There's no room for stress then, or drama or trauma stories. There's no room for commotion. Once we become quite mindful, devotion is right there, actually. We become very appreciative of everything around us, because there's so much to be grateful for. It's the stories that our mind tells us otherwise, but there's so much to be grateful for. So gratitude is a great opener to the divine also, which comes from the heart. Then we're going to meditation. Meditation is a solitude practice. You want to have the time out from everything. And it's also almost like I say you're breaking a pattern of the day. You're breaking the pattern of the do cycle or, being in action mode and really going inwards. So mindfulness is always still outward. Meditation will bring you inward. And you're connecting to your higher self, to consciousness, to that place within. How to start that is, like we did mention, just sit, closed eyes, follow the breath is a very quick way to start really like being comfortable with sitting with yourself initially. So follow the breath in, take 20 seconds to take a full inhale in. Hold it for 20 seconds, exhale for 20 seconds. The mind cycle will begin to slow down.
I see.
That's a great starting point. I think also find a good spiritual group to go to, or find a good spiritual teacher that can take you then deeper into yourself. And, why not explore that mystical side? That's what we're here for.
Right. So 20 seconds in and 20 seconds out.
The 1 minute breath, we call it, 20 seconds to breathe in.
20
Take 20 seconds. Hold it for 20 seconds and take 20 seconds to exhale.
Oh, so 1 minute altogether.
1 minute breath, yeah.
Wow.
Maybe it will be 10 seconds each first and then take it to 20 seconds.
Right. And then how would you say these practices, meditation and mindfulness, how do they help us deal with negative emotions? For example, like stress in our lives, fear, depression, all those negative things that we're all having to deal with. How do you think these would impact or affect?
Mindfulness takes us out of drama. We're very here. Now, where is drama coming from and commotion? It's from storytelling. Storytelling always comes from the past. We have a thought. The thought is about the past, right? Always stressing about the future. So mindfulness takes us away from that. And I think then there's no commotion. There may be still emotion. We're in here, present right now, and there's an emotion that has come up, but there's no story attached to it. You have the emotion, it's released, it's gone. So we have a more authentic life. How does meditation help? We're going deeper, and we realize that the mind is just a tool that we utilize to have this human experience. It's not the truth at all. This body is not the truth at all. And we stop giving it so much importance. And then we are coming from the highest self.
Right, because nowadays the body's been made like the ultimate, it's all about the physical appearance and even health, like physical health is, people focus more on that as opposed to mental health, emotional health and all of that, right? So it'd be good to sort of change the focus like you're saying. How do we handle distractions, inner resistance, or moments when we feel disconnected? Any further tips on that?
Distractions?
Like when we're trying to be mindful or do our meditation, and whenever distractions come either from within or from outside, right?
How to
so
deal
these
with
are the barriers or struggles that we are facing when we try to be on this path or do these. So what would you...
Let it be. It's okay. It's okay.
So
it happens. It's life. Every distraction from within, it's just something that's rising up. Let it be. Just don't attach to it. And from without, that's life. That's part of life. There's going to be some noise. There's going to be some disruptions. There's going to be something going on.
So just accept it as part of the journey.
Let it be. Let it be.
I see. So are there any common misconceptions about meditation and mindfulness that you'd like to address?
I think the biggest misconception that I've come across is that it's too hard. It's not doable. It's not attainable for the common man. And I beg to differ. Why I beg to differ is that it's a natural state. How can something that is us naturally be so difficult? So what may be difficult is we have this image in our head of what it means or what it should be, or we have this expectation of ourselves so instantaneously. Let go of the expectation and the image and just take bite-sized baby steps and start somewhere. And again, this is where the teacher comes in. But slow and steady wins the race. I think every single person, no, I know every single person can do it. It's just a matter of taking the time and starting somewhere.
And is there any is there any example of any breakthrough you had or anything that you'd like to share that you experienced during meditation? Any sort of, I think it'd be inspiring for us to hear.
So there's many experiences. One of them when I was very young, actually in my 20s, and it was one of the first experiences I had, is I left my body. And that's actually the first time I realized I'm not the body. And I could see myself going higher and higher and higher and looking down at the body until I went to the upper realms. Wow. And it was so early on in my meditative experience that it actually, I would say maybe it was one of the deep catalysts for me to continue and go deeper into this, realizing that I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. There's so much more. Actually what we are is beautiful.
Wow, that'd be a very good feeling to be flying above in the sky in the clouds.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of us don't get that. So to keep us going, wow. So
that's the mystical side of things.
So what did you do to get to that experience, and how can we do that? How can we get to that?
So therein lies the goal setting, right? We don't want to set goals for that to happen, because then again, it's not authentic. That's not the goal for meditation. It was one of my experiences that happened. Mm-hmm. But the goal for meditation is really, who am I? And to be in touch with that on a everyday basis in a higher vibration than trauma and story and commotion.
Right. So we have to have that purity of intention, is what you're saying. Yeah. So not focus on any of these milestones. Wow. So, and how would you say meditation has transformed your relationship with yourself and your relationships with others and with the divine?
Meditation with myself. Well, initially I didn't even know myself. I didn't know who I was. My life was very much other focused, especially from an Eastern upbringing. Even though I was born in the West, the upbringing was very Eastern. So in our household, we were meant to be other focused, and especially being a girl. So it was always about how can we be the best daughter, how can we be the best sister, or how can we be the best female representing this culture in a Western country, being Eastern as possible, because we represent the Eastern culture in this world. So it was a very challenging upbringing in that sense. And then getting married, it was how can we be the best daughter-in-law, be the best wife, be the best mother, and always other focus. So there was no concept of who am I. There was no time to even think about who am I, or neither did I, feel the importance at that time. When I started meditating, everything almost instantaneously went inwards. I started having, the experiences, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, then these relationships are not true, then these thoughts are not true, then these possessions are not real, and then the illusion became very in my awareness. And then I realized that, this is a spiritual journey.
Amazing. I wish, I'm sure we have a lot to learn from you and from the camps. So we should all keep, of course, coming. Yeah. And thank you so much for all your teachings. What would you like to say in conclusion? Is there anything else you'd like to say to someone who's skeptical about meditation itself, the process, or skeptical about themselves and their
I love skepticism, because it's one of those, there's still I don't know there. And so use that to prove yourself wrong or prove yourself right. right? You can start on the journey. Once you start on the journey, you'll find out if it's for you. And I think more often than not, when you start on the meditation journey, because it's about you, it's about getting to know you, it's about going inwards, there's nothing more rewarding. So start somewhere. Bite-sized steps, bite-sized pieces, slow and steady wins the race, but start somewhere.
Right. And then consistency is the key as well,
Yeah.
from what I'm hearing.
Consistency and discipline, yeah.
Well, that was great information. If there's anything else you'd like to add, is there anything else that you think I
think
might have missed out?
Yeah, for this podcast, I think that's great. I'm excited about the next one. So let's see what topic we come up with next.
Sure. Thank you so much. Great having you as always.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sukhi ji.
Thank you.